clash, shadows, battles won. I see through foggy veils, no swords to raise, no cries to wail. Victory's touching ghostly hue, darkness glows a pale blue. Silent shadows trace the ground, in this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease, no need to fight, no need to cease. Creeping through the twisted wood, echo shards where warriors stood. Just a breath, just a wish, no more war, no final fist. Wisdom whispers in the night, strength in peace, no need to fight. Witness walk in soft embrace, no battle scars, no deadly taste. Silent shadows trace the ground, in this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease, no need to fight, no need to cease. Silent shadows trace the ground, in this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease, no need to fight, no need to cease. In the still night whispers float, in the quiet heartbeat slow. No clash, no roar, just silence, in the shadows battles won. I see through foggy veils, no swords to raise, no cries to wail. Victory's touching ghostly hue, darkness glows a pale blue. Silent shadows trace the ground, in this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease, no need to fight, no need to cease. Creeping through the twisted wood, echo shards where warriors stood. Just a breath, just a wish, no more war, no final fist. Wisdom whispers in the night, strength in peace, no need to fight. Witness walk in soft embrace, no battle scars, no deadly taste. Silent shadows trace the ground, in this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease, no need to fight, no need to cease. Silent shadows trace the ground, in this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease, no need to fight, no need to cease. In the still night whispers float, in the quiet heartbeat slow. No clash, no roar, just silence, in the shadows battles won. I see through foggy veils, no swords to raise, no cries to wail. Victory's touching ghostly hue, darkness glows a pale blue. Silent shadows trace the ground, in this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with
All right, good morning, everybody. This is Alan from Mr. Bitey's Gaming. Welcome. It's good to see y'all again. With me is Super from Super Destructo,
Yo.
Fee from Looking Glass Tarot,
Hello, hello.
and Danielle from
Hello.
Danielle. So, um, I apologize for the last minute change of plans. We will not be gaming today. Unfortunately, there are some things that have come up, and it's just not feasible for us to do so. That being said, we are going to be discussing some things, good things. I realize I have that tone in my voice, and I'm sorry, but we will be discussing moving forward. Next week, Sunday, 10 a.m., will be continuing as normal. For those of you that have heard, previously we had been working with Nemeton Studios, and we are no longer working with them. They are moving on to other projects. We are continuing with ours, and that business partnership moving forward is no longer happening. So, what that means going forward is that when I first started Mr. Bitey's, this was a one man operation. I was doing everything. The game design, the foundry design, the yes design. Now, I am not doing the art design. My artistic stylings are stick figures at play, and I screw those up. So, we are still reaching out to local artists. Don't worry, the book will have real art, not Alan art. This is a T Rex Tyrannosaurus.
I
But
love you, man.
I love you too. So, what that means in concrete terms. We are still planning to launch the Shattered World for purchase officially late spring, early summer next year. 2025. I realize it is still 2024, right? Okay, yes. This year has been flying by. It wouldn't surprise me to learn tomorrow is 2026. Let's be honest here.
Lincoln, you'll miss it.
Right. Like, just fuck this whole last, like, 10 years, dude. This has sucked. Anyway, so we are still planning to launch. We are still making that goal. On better news, we have been playtesting and working on new mechanics and updates to old mechanics. Starting next week when we play, we're going to be demoing the new way we do initiative. For example, if you listen to my Shadowrun Return stream, or just in general, I've mentioned it once or twice. I know I've talked with you guys about it, Super, Fee, and Danielle.
Mm-hmm.
So, when the game launches, there will basically be two different initiative modes in the book. Now, the default assumption is what we're calling cinematic mode, but tactical mode is also in there. Now, tactical mode, if you've played a tabletop RPG, that's tactics mode. Basically, you have an initiative score based off your mental or your agility plus your perception. Everybody rolls it, enemy and adversary and ally, and then you go down the order. All right, Fee got an 18, they're going first. Monster got a 16, they're going second. Super got a 13, they're going third. Blah blah blah. That's initiative. On your initiative, you get your actions and you go. Short, simple, to the point. There's a reason why a lot of games default to a version of that. And I like to be complicated. So, we're not defaulting to that. Instead, oh, 1 second. Let me. Super, are you still seeing Brewhaven Cafe?
I sure am.
Okay.
Is that what it says up there?
Yeah, you're still...
Yep.
Tell you what, we're going to do it this way, and then this way. And that moved everybody to stores but you. So this is the other reason why we're not playing right now. I am still learning Foundry myself. I used Roll20 a lot. I like Foundry. I love its customization. I love its ability. I love what it can do. But it is very much a learning process. I didn't feel comfortable. And after talking with my beautiful friends here, they convinced me that my first thought was right. I just did not feel comfortable presenting at this time a subpar product. How do I phrase it? I'm just going to phrase it in Alan speak. Fuck it. Remember, professionalism. I am dedicated towards, if you're giving me your money for something, I am going to make good goddamn sure what you get from me is worth every penny. Yeah, I'm sure there are more market-savvy ways of saying that. I am not an eloquent man. I am something of a jackass. When the game is ready, there are going to be delays. There are. This is my first game. We are new as a publisher. I have taken every step I can, and I've been attending classes and the like to make sure the business side is down, and I'm doing what's best for the product, and to make sure you guys get something that you can use to tell the stories you want to tell, and it's worth it. I don't want, a year and a half after you paid 60, 70 bucks for my book, I'm still waiting on an errata because it turns out Magus doesn't work. Or I spent extra money for the super cool anniversary edition, and it turns out you rushed last minute and the $30 PDF has 20 pages more of material than my $100 hard leather bound anniversary edition. Definitely not calling out any names there, but fucking vampire. Anyway, I am a professional. So, all of that.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. And I just realized we were in the middle of explaining the new initiative, and I just kind of wandered off on a tangent.
That's
You're
okay,
good.
man.
I swear I did take my medication this morning.
That's okay. I don't think I did.
Right. I don't remember doing so, but my pill minder has an empty spot. So, right. I would never go off on a tangent. Ooh, squirrel. It reminds me of the old joke. How many kids with ADHD does it take to change a light bulb? Want to go ride bikes?
As my friend Suffy Kitty says, or sings, ADD, it's as easy as 1, 2, squirrel.
I like that. But let's get back on topic. Focus. Professional. Initiative. So, we are doing what we have called cinematic mode. In this mode, one person rolls initiative. When you make your group, right? So, in this case, Fee, Super, and Danielle, you would choose one of you as the lookout, the point man. They would add up their agility plus their perception, and then they would get an additional bonus for every member of the group that is either a rookie, a specialist, or a pinnacle in perception. So if Emer and Colette are both rookie in perception, they would both give Crimson a +1 bonus to that score.
Woohoo!
one adversary would be a lookout, and they would do the same thing. If, say, Colette is, or I'm sorry, yeah, we'll say Colette. Say Colette is over here investigating in here, and Super and, I'm sorry, God. Crimson and Emer are over here, and they get attacked. They use the same thing. Colette, if she gets attacked at the same time by somebody else, I may make her roll her own initiative. But the default is all players roll off the same initiative, all adversaries roll off their own initiative. And then all players go at the same time. And you can intersperse your actions. So, and again, Super, I apologize. I'm not sure why it's not moving. Tell you what, everybody can see. Everybody is now in Brewhaven Cafe, yes?
Correct.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
so I'm going to pull over to adversaries as an example. You guys have all made, you know,
I'm gonna run the hell away.
right. So
Perfect.
you guys are going first. Say Colette, since you're the up close pistol user, for whatever reason, you're right up in their face. Crimson,
Close pistol user.
yes.
Yes.
Crimson, you want to throw a grenade, but
Yeah.
if you do, that's going to hit Colette. So what you would do
okay.
is,
I didn't ask how big the room was.
right,
I cast fireball.
I cast Fireball.
Can I kick
I
the
almost
grenade
said
back
use
to them?
flamethrower, but then I realized that would burn Colette as well.
Yes. Yay, flamethrowers. Thank God right now Crimson only has the mini thrower, the basically mini fireball launcher that just throws a one-target fireball.
Right.
She is going to have entirely too much fun when she gets a real flamethrower.
Oh, I know. You know she's got a fire extinguisher.
Yes, that's smart. That's smart.
Isn't that a melee weapon?
Well, you know, it's good. It is definitely good for using as a weapon. It's
Yes.
also good for putting out fires.
Fuck the
See?
Human Torch.
Nobody likes a unitasker.
That's right. So, in cinematic mode, Colette would take one of her, you get 3 actions, correct? Colette? Okay.
Yeah.
So, Colette and Crimson both have 3. Emer, remind me, you only have 2, right?
Yes?
Okay.
Question mark?
We'll say yes. So,
For the sake of example, yes. It says
Okay.
2 here in actions. So yes.
So, Emer is going to use his first action to move forward. He's going to use his second action to give an inspiring aim at that motherfucker. And use his leadership ability to give all allies in an area a +1 bonus to their attack. That's his 2 actions. He's now done for the turn. Colette is going to use 1 action to move back. Crimson is going to use an action to throw her grenade and hit both of these. Colette is out of the way. She's now going to use her second action, since she's in range, to fire and hit. And then her third action, because they no longer have evasions left, to just get off a last pop shot. That kills. Hey, that doesn't actually do that. That does. Cool. Buttons. For some reason, I tried to hit T for delete, just to let you know where my mental status is today.
Exterminate.
T, you're
Yeah.
putting them in timeout.
That's right. Timeout, terminate, to fucking dead. Anyway, with her 2 remaining actions, Crimson is going to move forward and then use a maneuver to try and trip them. You can intersperse your actions any way you want.
Right.
That's just an example. The main reason why we're making this the default... Teledead, yes. Telehealth, teledead. Deleted.
Very Homestar Runner of you, Time Glitch Hop.
I love
Fucking
Homestar
Homestar.
Runner. I didn't know you guys liked Homestar Runner.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day.
Oh, I used to watch Homestar Runner all the time.
My
Okay.
guitar's named Clover.
Nuh-uh.
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
So, there are 2 main reasons we did this. And they boil down to the same reason. Continuity of system. I don't know how many of you have played Starfinder.
Once.
Maybe once.
Now, I'm about to talk shit about the system. I want to clarify, I love Starfinder. It's a very good system. I'm excited for Starfinder 2nd Edition. I can't wait to play a Laser Pistol Monk. It's going to be fun. That being said, like every system, it has its flaws. One of my biggest complaints about the system was with Starship Combat. Starship Combat, it's a sci-fi setting game. Starship Combat is a huge part of it. Vehicle combat is a huge part of it. Starfinder, initiative works exactly... Right, I wonder, Time. What kind of crazy motherfucker would do that? I have no idea. Hi, Time, I love you. No, Starfinder is a good system, but for 90% of the game, it handles initiative exactly like Pathfinder and D&D and every other game does, right? Everybody rolls, highest goes first. And then you take your actions there. Starship Combat, they completely changed not just how initiative works, but how turns themselves work. So in Starship Combat, the pilot is the only one that makes the initiative check because they're flying the ship. And the turn is split into 2 phases, move and combat. It's split into more than that, but for this example, move and combat. So, what did I say a moment ago with initiative? Do you want to get a high score or a low score? High score. Right? So you go first. In Starship Combat and Starship Combat only for Starfinder, low initiative goes first. It's completely backwards. Because you don't take your whole turn. Your turn is split into 2 phases, right? The move phase and the combat phase. So if we'll pretend, these are all starships. If Crimson rolled highest, so they go first, they move their little starship over here. And now Coulette, who rolled lowest, goes second. They can move their starship over here, where they know Crimson doesn't have any guns and can't actually fire back at them. The way they have the combat set up in Starship Combat, going second is a huge advantage, especially once damage starts piling up, because you can do things like target your enemy's engines It takes a minute to wrap your head around, but once you've done it a couple times, it's awesome. But that's the thing. That system is great, but it feels duct taped on because it works completely different from every other major mechanic in the game. I've now completely changed how turn order works. I've now completely changed how initiative works. It's too much change. There's no coherency between the system. Now, in the Shattered World, bringing it back, this is a modern fantasy game. Unlike a D&D, it really does. Also, welcome, I never remember how to pronounce your damn name. Fatebender? That makes sense.
Just like it's spelled. F8 Bender.
I quit today. Anyway, welcome. It's good to see you over in our chat. Thank you for joining. Where was I? Shit. Oh, yes. So, with us being a modern fantasy setting, one of our default assumptions, like one of the things we baked into the core of the system... Yeah, the vibe here is a little weird. That's mostly my fault. I don't know how...
You're not weird.
TFU.
Yeah, we're
bullshit.
all freaking weird, man.
We're all weird, but that doesn't
What up,
make me
Fatebender?
unweird. So, I don't know how much of the first bit of the stream you caught. We are not actually playing today. I'm just going over things. Unfortunately, we had some changes, and I just wasn't ready to DM today. We will be continuing with the actual game starting next week, Sunday at 10 a.m. But one of the default assumptions in the game, from a game design perspective, this is modern fantasy. All players, whether it's the player themselves or someone in the group, will have access to a vehicle. It may be a shitty rust bucket, but someone in the group is going to have access to a vehicle. Therefore,
A little electric bike.
I am not getting into politics. I am not getting into politics.
If the Tesla comes out with a bike, I'll have that. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So.
It just looks like the bikes that you used to draw in kindergarten.
Oh my god. One wheel is the wrong fucking size. Anyway.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Fucking Danielle.
I'm unmedicated.
Yeah, you are. So, welcome. Right.
Vandaglu.
The Wonder Glue is
Hey.
racist. Anyway, hey, Echo. Yes, this is absolutely a bunch of nerds. We are awesome. Yeah. And welcome to the chat. So,
Yo.
vehicle combat, it was assumed from the very beginning when I first started laying this shit out that vehicles were going to play a big part. They won't take part in every combat. You may drive up to, for example, the mall, get out of your car and clear it. That's fine. But vehicles were not something that I could have tacked on. And from the beginning, the easiest way for vehicle combat to flow was to go with this kind of everybody acts at once idea. Right? It was too complicated, especially for my newer players that I play tested with, those that didn't have a tabletop RPG background, to remember, okay, the driver goes first, and then the leader goes second, and the tactician goes, like... they kept messing up on it. So I switched it to everybody goes when you want, talk it over. We're going to take like 30 seconds, go. And even with, at the start of every round, everybody taking 30 seconds to discuss, combat still flowed so much quicker and easier that I had to keep it. And that's how vehicle combat works in the game. Once I made that change official, I looked at importing that to the game overall, because again, I don't want that starship combat problem where the starship combat, I'll absolutely die on that hill. It's a good system. It just doesn't mesh with the rest of the game.
Right.
The settlement building is the same. In Pathfinder First Edition Kingmaker, they had a kingdom building. I keep wanting to call it a fucking mini game, but because that's what it was. But they had kingmaking, and it was something you could slap onto the main game and make a kingdom, and that was pretty cool. And it was a reasonable system. It had its flaws. God, it had its flaws, but it was a reasonable system. The problem is, it did not work with the rest of the game, to the point where it had its own wealth and its own, like, resources. You didn't use money, you used build points. And you could buy build points with money, but the book straight out said, you probably don't want to let them convert build points to money. Only go from money to build points, because you can very easily break things and get your players can get way more than they were intended to, blah, blah, blah. And that shouldn't happen. Especially not for systems that I plan on putting into the core book itself, the field manual. So, yeah. That's a very roundabout way of saying that our goal was to make sure all of the mechanics kind of interacted well and meshed together. And that's why we're making, while the game will have, again, what we're calling tactical initiative, cinematic mode is the default, because that's the same initiative that every other mode in the game uses. When you're in navigation mode exploring, it's cinematic mode. When you're in stratagem mode, building shit and settlement building, that's cinematic mode. So why make normal mode different?
Right. Well.
That's the main change that we've made. We're also revamping our adversary system. We're making that a lot more streamlined. Hopefully easier. I used to, before I started on this, I used to actually teach tabletop RPGs to new players at my local game store. Pathfinder, D&D, Vampire the Masquerade. I even got into some like Rifts and Besom and other games. I don't recommend some of those, but fun games, great games.
I still want to play Pathfinder, man.
I want to play all the games.
Right.
I know, I just want to play games.
One day I'll have to run a Pathfinder 2e campaign for everybody. I want to play more too. You fuckers need to learn how to DM. Said with love.
Maybe I'll do that once. Maybe I'll learn how to DM.
I'm absolutely down. And if you have any questions, I can absolutely help.
I can be bossy.
Maybe I'll...
Yeah, you can.
Maybe me and Danielle can DM a game together.
There we go. Tell me what to do. So,
right?
You can't
I
have it,
feel
it's
that on the
mine.
medication.
Right, like, I have my my ADHD medication, it's just remembering to take that shit, because, I get distracted. Like, whose idea was it to, like, okay, we can cure your being distracted. You have to remember to do this thing every day. Fuck.
And keep all your appointments and make appointments.
Right.
It never ends.
Man, the number of times I just woke up, got to work, and realized it's like 3 p.m. I've been up since 6 a.m. and I haven't eaten.
Hmm.
And you want me to remember appointments and medication? Like, come on, dude. I'm doing what I can. Right, exactly. God, for the longest time I had super short hair, so I didn't even have to grab a brush. I just got up and fucking ran. And makeup, I'm already ugly. That's not gonna fix anything. Space cocaine is a hell of a drug, right? I still love that ADHD meds are basically legalized meth, only they calm an ADHD person's brain down. Like, it has the opposite effect. I do not get that. I get it. I do. I do not get it. Like, I should not be taking speed and taking a nap. And just pro tip for all my listeners, every friend group has that buddy that'll like pound an energy drink and then go to sleep.
That's me.
Talk
That's
to
me, you, Alan.
right. Tell them to talk to their doctor about ADHD, because that's not a guarantee, but that is a hell of an indicator. Yeah, they do. Yay, dopamine. Right?
I could drink. I had 2 monsters last night, and I still went to bed like an hour or two afterwards. Not even.
Yep.
The problem is, I get sleepy, but I'm also nervous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anxious. I don't know
Thankfully.
if that's my default state or
I take
I was
caffeine pill before I go to bed.
right. Hey, if that's what it takes, man. Like, I remember doing the tech school thing, and everybody was like, take these caffeine pills. They'll help you, like, stay awake longer, and they'll help you fucking focus more in class and whatever. And I never understood it at first. I went undiagnosed for a while because I'm an idiot, but, like, looking back, I am, because there were so many signs, and I should have noticed. But I would take those pills and then pass out in class every time.
Mm.
And I could not comprehend it. And now looking back, I'm like, oh, fuck, okay, that's why. But where was I? We got off on a hell of an ADHD tangent.
Right, that's true. Well, I mean, that makes sense, but
it really does. This whole group is just, we're unmedicated as shit.
yeah, to address time glitch hop, I don't think that anybody really like thought of it as something that could happen to people older than 7. You know what I mean?
Right. No, time exactly right. At the time, like, I knew what it was, but that was the thing, you know, little Jimmy and fucking Juan and shit got diagnosed with in 2nd grade because they couldn't sit the fuck down. And I can sit the fuck down, and I was 22. So, obviously.
Well, back then it was kind of like anything wrong with you was like a moral failing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, why can't you just XYZ? I wish I could. I wish I knew how to.
Right. Like, I'm fucking trying. I would love to. I'm right there with you.
Tell me how to do it. Unlock the secrets.
Right. Just drink a lot of Mountain Dew. That doesn't work.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in what is affectionately known as North Pennsylvania, We are the ass end of the Bible Belt. So I guess technically we're the armpit of the Bible Belt because we're way higher up.
Are we?
Yeah.
Why?
The armpit in the
Nope.
Bible Belt?
Well, not if you flip the Bible Belt down upside down.
No, we're not.
Is it one of those belts?
We're
with the
definitely in
harnesses?
the ass. We're
Yes.
definitely in the ass crack of the Bible Belt.
Well, that would
We
make
really
sense.
are.
That would make sense.
Oh, hell, that
My-
sucks.
My joints are in the rust belt.
Right.
Also, I want to point out that I resent the implication that I am unmedicated. I prefer self-medicated. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's not the same, Justin. We love you very much from the bottom of our heart.
So, how long have you had this meth problem?
Right. We're here because we love you. We've all written things we want to say to you.
Here's mine, dad ass.
Right. And time, you're exactly right. We are in the Rust Belt. We're also in the Bible Belt. We're like one of those anime villains where we have 18 different belts strapped to us because belts give us power. I grew up in the 90s. I know how this shit works.
Right, 90s wrestling.
Bender's got it right.
Right, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Except I don't like coffee. I take my caffeine straight. Oh, you said caffeine, not coffee. I also went to a public school, so my reading is sometimes not good. Oh, I'm done today. So at this point, moving forward, we will be playing. I went over how we're redoing the adversary system. We've already been playtesting, and we're going to be implementing for this stream the new initiative. The last 2 times we played, we did old initiative just to make it easier for new viewers. I am still learning how Foundry fucking works, as evidenced by the fact that I apparently can't make Justin look at one of the tabs. Look at it. But one of the things...
You can make me do lots of stuff, Alan.
Hey.
But
You can leave 'em in
clearly
water.
looking at the tab is
Yes.
Safe word, safe word.
Safe word. Kumquat. Kumquat.
That one's confusing.
That one is confusing. Also, general chat warning for the chat. We discuss weird stuff, I'm sorry.
If you're up this early on a Sunday and you're not old enough to be here, you're not here.
You're not here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, one of the things I'm working on doing, we've got new character sheets that I still have to pretty up and make look not like ass, but we are going back to that more. My initial plan for the Shattered World character sheets was for them to look like police reports, look like these are enhanced individuals. Even when they're working with an organization, there's a lot of mistrust. You're still trying to find out what this world means to you since you've changed. That's why I wanted the kind of form look. But one of our plans... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, if anybody knows any local artists, digital artists that are able to do work like this, Betty is willing to work with them.
Yes. And it will be work for money. I do not deal in exposure. My lawyer says I'm not supposed to do that anymore. But
since the park.
not since oh. We're not supposed to
Those dogs
talk
were
about that. Fuck them dogs.
No, you can't.
No. Oh, that's horrible. The things I deal with you people.
We're not good people. We're all going to hell.
We're all going. Look,
We're going there fast.
look, I went to church. Unlike most Christians, I've actually read the Bible. I've already come to terms with the fact that I'm just fucked. So at this point, it's go big or go home.
I love
I think the
shellfish.
Christians that have read the Bible are the ones that aren't Christians anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
But I will not get on my Christian rant. I will not get on my religion rant. I love you all. Buy my stuff. So, one of the things we are looking at doing for Foundry, specifically, once I figure out how to do it, is with other modules, say athletics right here. It will have a little dice that pops up next to it, and I can click it, and it will automatically add all of my modifiers that I've put on my sheet to that die roll. So my goal is to get a little screen or something set up to where you don't have to constantly look and flip through on Foundry. Okay, this is my second attack, so I need to remember to add the -6. I need to remember the square root of pi is right. Like, you don't have to do all that shit. Simple, click right. Hey, Count Mongoose, welcome to the chat. It's going pretty good.
Oh yeah, it is.
Hello,
I love
Count
it,
Mongoose.
Paybender.
Yes.
Hey, mongoose.
What up, Mongoose?
For real, Fate. I agree with that sentiment.
Yes. So, one of the things we did from the very beginning was basically look at a bunch of different tabletop RPGs and really strip the mechanics down and look at why things were the way they were and if they needed to be like that. The example I always give people is Dungeons and Dragons and then first edition Pathfinder. Your turn consists of a standard action and a move action and a swift action and an intermediate action and a free action and fucking Bob's action and
Mom's action, your Bob's action.
right, like why? Well, it's for attacks so that, you know, if you just have actions, then you can just make 3 attacks and not do anything else. And that'll really break encounters. And I go, okay, so let's figure something out and make this a little easier. So the first thing we did was I got rid of the idea of different action types, and you just have actions. And then we built the combat around that idea. So in order to prevent multiple attacks in Shadowrun Returns, which was a game I was streaming on Bitey's Breaks a little bit, yes, it does, and we are absolutely working on ways to counter that as well. Part of that is just not being a bitch. No,
Wow.
that's it. That's everything. Just, I'm the DM. What I say goes. Stop being a little bitch about it. No.
That's no fun.
Right. Yeah, I'm always up to hear new ideas. I'm
Everyone knows that DM's like a brat.
Right. You know what? Keep it up. Right, so one thing that the new D&D edition did, the D&D not edition it did, whatever the fuck they're calling it this week, one of the few things they did that I really liked was they included a rule that said basically, look, bitches, this is not real-world physics. These rules are not an approximation of real-world physics. This is a game. Fucking stop. And I really liked that. I thought that was really nice. So, let me read counts real quick. Turn-based combat, okay. All stats have a maximum of 10 to them. Max level is 50, okay. Attacks and movements are determined first by flipping a coin. If it lands heads, you succeed. So, if I'm reading that correctly, if I flip a coin, I have to flip a coin to move, so I can fail on moving forward? Or is the coin flip just for attacks? If it lands tails, you fail. Roll a d10.
I routinely fail on moving forward.
I mean, that is fair. That is fair. If it lands tails, you fail.
Not moving. At
Moving.
all.
I know. I fail on getting out of my bed because I can't move.
Okay.
Not because I don't want to, but because I just can't.
Yeah, you think sleep would be a reset after playing so many of these games, but I get up and like my knee doesn't work and my spine has to zip back into place. Like
Yeah.
maybe that's just hypermobility, but
Yeah. All right, so looking at it, I think it has promise. I worry that it might be a little too involved. Yeah, and I said earlier in the chat, I am not an eloquent man, so please take what I'm about to say with the love and respect that I mean this with. This is very clearly a very, very rough draft. And again, I mean that with every bit of love and respect. Every mechanic starts somewhere. I think this is a good idea. I think this does need to be workshopped a lot. I worry about it being too intimidating, if that makes sense. Hey, I get those thoughts, man. Like,
shower thoughts that get put on paper sometimes turn into works of art.
Yes, they do. I said this.
Put every shower thought on paper with that.
Right.
I think every rapper does that too.
Right. So this is something I've said in other streams. I'm going to say it here. The most important bit of advice I can give somebody looking to design ideas. Yes, a whiteboard would be amazing. But one of the most important bits of advice I can give. You could.
or just have a dry erase marker if you have a clear enough tile or somewhere.
Yes.
To write
Oh
on.
yeah, you don't even need a whiteboard. You don't even need to get a wet erase marker. They make those.
Right.
You just wipe it off in the shower.
Oh,
the shower will be purple, but whatever.
Hey, I've had worse showers. But one of the best bits of advice I can give is if you're looking at mechanics, your mechanic is going to suck. It is going to fail. And that's fine. Write it down. You are going to have a beautiful idea for an amazing fucking mechanic that no one has ever seen before. And yes, they really were. But you're going to have this wonderful idea for a mechanic, and you're going to show it off to a buddy, and the buddy's going to glance at it. Not even look at it, just fucking glance. And be like, yep, Mutants and Masterminds, page 352. And that's a game you've never played, you've never heard of, and you're going to grab the book and you're going to look, and sure as shit on page 352, not only is your mechanic there, but it's been fucking play tested and made better, and it's a better version of your mechanic, and that feeling is going to suck. And that's fine.
Are you implying that Mutants and Masterminds was ever play tested?
Look, I realize there's a little bit of irony in me saying that.
No, Mutants and Masterminds isn't too bad.
I like Mutants and Masterminds.
Look,
Good system.
Mutants and Masterminds has its issues, but you're talking to someone that has also played Modern D20, Urban Arcana, and Big Eyes Small Mouth. And Riffs, and my level of holy shit, this is broken, is a lot higher than the average person. Oh yeah, same. World building is absolutely my first love. But oh my god, any of the first edition World of Darkness games, we're gonna make a system where you don't have fucking move. You're just gonna be close enough or not close enough. Fuck you. Fucking World of Darkness. Fuck. Anyway,
We love you, World of Darkness.
we love you,
I
World of
still
Darkness.
play, so
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. My first actual character that I ever made was a vampire named Bob who walked around. He was a Malkavian, and he walked around talking to a road cone. And that is still one of my favorite characters of all time. And it would never have been possible in a real system. It was only possible in the hodgepodge bullshit that was first edition Vampire the Masquerade.
you know, I will forever love it because it brought us all together.
Yes.
So go ahead, Alan. Sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to
you're
interrupt.
good. I interrupt me like you guys are no different. But no, you're to get back on topic. Your system, your first draft, it holds true with writing. It holds true with creating. Your first draft is going to suck, and that's fine. Get it down. Fail like a son of a bitch, and keep at it because
And
you're
you don't even
going
have
to
to say the
stop
word suck.
failing.
Because maybe it doesn't suck. Maybe it just needs refinement, and that's okay. Everything starts with or and needs refinement.
Right. Maybe it sucks and that's what we like about it. Some of us like it when it sucks.
Ah,
Oh,
That's
that kind of
Righty.
stream lighting. Is that TOS?
true.
No, I'm pretty sure you're fine, but it was a facetious joke.
It completely went over my head, dude. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
I got distracted by what time said. So I've given that example like 3 different streams because it's something that took me a long time to come to terms with. I am very much a perfectionist. I will absolutely get pissed off if I write something and I will debate whether to use a comma or a semicolon for like 10 minutes. I'm that guy. Oh god, no 9-year-old should be playing Vampire the Masquerade. Not only because, it's fucking vampire, but that system
For
was
real.
not designed for children. Like,
Well, I mean, if there's adult supervision, I'm fine with a 9-year-old playing Vampire the Masquerade. But
right.
nobody should ever play VTM Second Edition.
Right. Like, that's what I mean. Like,
I don't know about BTM Second Edition, so I don't know much about that edition.
Vampire was... Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say when Vampire first came out, it was not good, and then when it second came out, it was not good.
It needed a couple systems to get good.
The story was there.
Yes.
Like that's what attracted people to it, not the system, because the
Right.
system was terrible, but the story itself was fantastic. It was the first time anybody had done the vampires like that.
Yes.
Decades.
Yeah.
So
they just compiled all of the vampire myths from all over the world and said, "Yep, they're all real."
yes. One of the important things about Vampire the Masquerade, and Time, I know you were present on this stream when I talked about it. Basically, there were 2 ideas, 2 thought processes, 2 styles of games that approach tabletop RPGs. And what we call OGL style games, so anything that used the open game license back in the day. So D&D, obviously, but... Aw. Did you get the Satanism talk? Because I got the Satanism talk. I got that talk a lot. But D&D and the like, they came very much from that war game background, right? Wargaming. So those are the very crunchy games. Those are the games where if I want to stand on one foot shooting a bow with my left foot while 5.5 feet above my enemy and the wind is 15 miles, there's a rule for that, right? Like I may have to look through 3 different rules, but there are rules to handle that. it very much came from that mechanics first philosophy. Vampire the Masquerade was not created by a game designer. It was created by two white boys from suburban Georgia that wanted to be writers. And
Let's say they wanted to be Anne Rice.
right. I'm glad that
the writers.
They were, and I
They
don't
could not build a system to save their
No.
bacon.
No, they could not. And they very much, again, I don't mean anything that I'm saying is a bash towards them. They had their strengths and weaknesses.
It is very much theater.
It's very much theater. Right. Theater of the mind is very much Vampire the Masquerade's thing. You can't run a Vampire the Masquerade game like you can a dungeon crawler. It's not the same.
I'll still choose Vampire the Masquerade game over any game, though. That's just me, though. I'm an actor. That's what I like to do. It helps me act, and I get to go and interact with people, and it's not like I don't get to interact with other people playing, D&D and all that stuff. It's just, you get to be a vampire or a werewolf or,
Yep. I
someone
was.
who can melt your mind or sing a song and blow up your head with just one note.
Fucking Daughters of Cacophony. Fuck you. I love you. Fuck Daughters of Cacophony. Yeah, I was also in high school when I first got introduced back in like the 97 age era. I don't know. I haven't looked at Werewolf 5th edition. I just am not a fan of what Paradox has been doing with it. From a mechanics perspective, and I get complaining about mechanics in a World of Darkness game is pissing in the wind. It really is. You go into that system knowing the mechanics, you're going to have to jury rig a little bit, but I'm just not a fan. Like, I've tried. I keep trying to get into V5. I can't do it. I can't. And it sucks to say that. Right, like that's all you need. Second edition of Pathfinder, I highly recommend. If you are going to play Pathfinder, first or second edition, please note, I am not I don't work for Piazza. I don't work for the guy I'm about to plug. This is just me speaking as a player and a DM. God damn, that's a good deal. The Pathfinder 2nd edition or 1st edition, if you're going to play it, look up the app Path Builder. Pathbuilder. That app is a character builder. It has everything. It makes character creation take 5 minutes. It is so quick and easy. It is one of the only apps that I would argue is maybe not mandatory, but I'd argue is damn near mandatory. It just makes everything so much easier.
And see, that's cool because
Yes.
I'm one of those players who obviously, and I am so gracious for you because you take your time with me because I'm constantly asking you the same question over and over again.
Oh, your questions are not insane. Shut the fuck up, Fee.
Well, no, what I'm trying to say is like your game is not complicated to the point where someone who I have dyslexia, and it's not, dyslexia is different for everybody, but for me, it really is not. It's pretty straightforward.
Good.
And I get it.
Good.
And I
I'm
think
glad.
that's the one thing that I think that's one thing is having a game where that caters to people who all can understand it with the way it's explained and how it's shown and how it's done. I think that that's a very good and inclusive kind of game.
Yes.
And I think your game is going to be a very good and inclusive kind of game.
I get, yeah. That was one of the things we were very much aiming for. Again, I used to teach the game. I have worked with people on every end of the spectrum. I have worked with 9-year-olds. I have worked with Marines, which, bad example because they're also about the level of... Anyway, I love you, Marines. Joking aside, our goal was to... There is a difference between crunchy and complicated. I like a game that is crunchy. I like a game that gives me a lot of options and lets me do cool shit.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it has to be complicated. I should not have to spend 20 minutes arguing right, pretty much count. And time, I absolutely get that. I used to be the same way. Path Builder is great. I still absolutely have Google Docs with lined characters out. I'm not going to lie. But I know not everyone's like me. And count, I can't find the meme now, but there's an old one I saw where it was like, local Satanist horrified to discover D&D is just improv and math. And that's basically it, man. Like, I was doing one game where I was running it, and we were doing, the players, long story short, had to escort a couple caravans from one city to another. And I realized 10 minutes in, I just start laughing uncontrollably. Because I had at the time 12 people doing what was essentially a glorified word problem. If Caravan A leaves Town B going 15 miles per hour, loaded down with H, and it was great, and I had them working on that for like an hour. We love you, time. I'm sure they still do, but they didn't at the time, and that's the important part. And they learned, and we all grew. Our hearts all grew 3 sizes that day. But yeah, no, the D20 systems are absolutely math heavy. And I'm glad that they put demons into it. It makes it so much better. But no, to get back, I like crunchy. I like being able to do cool shit. I like being able to create a vast array of characters. But that doesn't need to be complicated. You need to look at each rule you're implementing as the game designer and make sure each rule is there for a reason. What you shouldn't do is, and I'm definitely not looking at specific games whose names rhyme with Munchins and Dragons, is not include things like how much items cost. Because the DM can figure that out. You should probably make your +1 weapon cost right about this much. About. Maybe. Figure it out. Like, that shit should not happen. You know what? I am absolutely down for brunches and flagons.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Oh, now I want to make a fucking Benny.
Oh my god.
What
I'm
do you wanna
hungry
make?
already.
What do you want to
Oh,
make, Alan?
I want to make a crab cake Benny.
Eggs Benedict.
It's, yeah, you basically take a bagel, throw a crab cake on it, some cheese, and then eggs Benedict on it. And, did you know it's almost lunchtime and I skipped breakfast? Oh, that sounds amazing.
That's okay.
Gotta figure something. I still gotta figure out what we're gonna do for lunch. Last minute is best minute. So, at this point, you guys have been listening to me miscellaneously talk about random shit for an hour and 12 minutes. Yeah, does anyone have any questions, not just for me, but also for my wonderful players who have absolutely suffered with me through this, and I love them very much.
You're fine, man.
If this is your definition of suffering, give me more daddy.
Yeah, actually, I was
Absolutely. And this is technically still a TTRPG stream. This is at least on topic as some of the games I've played. Let's be honest here.
Most of our conversation has centered around TTRPGs in some way. So
It has.
A TTRPG stream.
Yeah.
So,
And I can't deny I was probably masking at some point, so there you go.
hey, I know I kind of zoned out there for a minute or two. I am going to go get a monster and go to sleep for a little bit. So, I'd like to thank everybody, especially my new people. Count, Echo, Fatebender, it was good seeing you. Welcome to the stream. Time, always good to see you. Anybody who I've missed, it was good to see all of you as well. We will be... So I am still working on the exact days. We had some changes. Twice during the week. Definitely on Thursday. Probably on Tuesday this week. I will be doing what I call Bitey's Breaks. And that's where I play a different game and discuss game design and shoot the shit and that kind of thing. We've been playing Cyberpunk 2077 and how that relates to the Shattered World lore-wise, etc. And then next Sunday at 10 a.m., we will absolutely be playing the Shattered World. This will be a restart. I will go over it more on Sunday, but we will be playing, so if you haven't seen a previous Shattered World game, don't think you won't know what's going on. You definitely won't, because I have no clue what the fuck's going on, and I'm running... No, it will be a restart, and I always try to give a little synopsis at the beginning to catch everybody up. So... all that being said, it was wonderful to see y'all. Everybody, take care, be safe, and I'll see you next time.
See you,
Bye.
man. See you guys.